Today we will talk about the Mini Militia game. The game that we must have played a lot with our friends and which 3.5 million people used to play every day at one point in time. But what happened is that now nobody plays the Mini Militia game, and its popularity has gone down so much. Let's learn the complete story of the Mini Militia in this video, and I will also tell you about the new Mini Militia game, which is still in development. First, let's talk about the beginning of the game and how the Mini Militia game was made. It was made by an American game development company named Insomniacs. Now, it's not known whether Insomniac copied the logo of Insomniac or whether Insomniac copied the logo of Insomniac. Anyway, the important thing is that some friends started it who were very passionate about making games. Basically, they did not sleep. They just kept making games. And that's why they named their company Insomniacs Productions, which came from insomnia. And they had made many games. And as you might not know, but the Mini Militia is a part of the Doodle Army series. Chad Towns, a developer, made the first Doodle Army game, which was launched at the beginning of 2010. After that, he took the help of a guy named Josh Neff, who was his friend, and both of them made Doodle Army 2, Mini Militia, together. It was released for iOS in April 2011. Apart from that, Chad was also working on a different game with another developer, Hunter Maya, on a game called Flip the Bird, which came out in the same year. When work on Doodle Army 2, or in short, Mini Militia, started to increase, Hunter also started working on it in 2012, and by 2014, Hunter had become a full-time partner at Insomniacs, whereas Josh quit and started his own company called Mountain Machine Games. So now Chad and Hunter continued to work on the game together, and it was released on Android in 2015. When the game was first released on iOS in 2011, it did not gain any special popularity, but when it was launched on Android in 2015, it became very popular, and specifically in India and Southeast Asia. By July 2016, 12.2 million people were playing it monthly, and out of them, 71% were from India. It had even become the #1 action game in Nepal, and apart from this, it was popular in the Philippines, Jamaica, Indonesia, Brazil, Syria, etc. In early 2018, 3.5 million players played it in a day, which is a very big number. I remember playing it with my college mates in class back in 2018. I hope that my family is not watching this video though. In 2018, it was becoming difficult to manage such a popular game for only 2 people, and that's where Miniclip comes in. You may have heard of this company. It was started in 2001 and has created more than 1,000 games. They used to make flash games that we could play on their website. In our school, we all used to talk about going to miniclip.com to play games. There were small but very interesting games like Skating Stan, which were fun to play. Anyway, now the company has completely changed and has become a mobile gaming company. 8-Ball Pool and Carrom Pool are some of their popular games that you may have heard of. And I should mention that in 2015, Tencent acquired a majority stake in Miniclip. Tencent has taken over every gaming company like a Chinese virus. We have made a separate video explaining the rise of Tencent games. You can watch that from the I button. Anyway, we're talking about Mini Militia. So Miniclip approached them and said they would lighten their workload. They struck a business deal in which Chad and Hunter's jobs were reduced to just being consultants, while Miniclip handled everything else. After that, Miniclip published version 5 of Mini Militia. They also shut down the Doodle Army game because it was from 2010 and had become outdated. This partnership lasted for 2.5 years, but what happened after that? I'll tell you later. First, let's talk about why the Mini Militia became so popular. The simple answer to the popularity of Mini Militia is its addictive gameplay and easy controls. With just 2 joysticks, players can play the entire game, and the game can also be played offline, which allows players to sit in groups with their friends and play. There is no story or other complexity. Players simply download the game, join their friend's room, and play. While there is a single-player mode for practice, the multiplayer mode is where the real fun lies. Players could sit with 4 to 5 friends, shoot and taunt each other, and have fun. Mini Militia was one of the first multiplayer games to offer customization options for characters and weapons. Players could choose different avatars, outfits, and their favorite weapons. Moreover, the game was lightweight and could easily run on older mobile phones. But if everything was going well, then what went wrong? The problem with Mini Militia was not really from the game's side, but rather from the overall mobile gaming industry. In 2018, mobile gaming underwent a revolution with the release of PUBG Mobile. The maximum number of Mini Militia players switched to PUBG or other similar battle royale games, because at that time, it was a new concept and everyone was playing it. Mini Militia becomes repetitive after a while, and players cannot enjoy it as much as they did before. In contrast, battle royale games were in 3D, had a high degree of unpredictability, and provided a more immersive experience. The popularity of mobile gaming increased so drastically that many options were available in the market for gamers because many different kinds of games were being launched, and the Mini Militia could not keep up, and it seemed outdated. Additionally, they did not update their content or add new features like Subway Surface, which is still introducing new features all the time. This led to a decrease in the number of players. The lockdown was also a reason for the decline in popularity, since the real fun of Mini Militia was sitting together and playing. During the lockdown, it was not possible. In this situation, Miniclip's interest in the Doodle Army series has decreased. This is because the people at Apsomniacs were saying that they wanted to make Doodle Army 3, but Miniclip said that they would keep updating Mini Militia instead. That's why, at the end of 2020, Apsomniacs renegotiated with Miniclip and took back the rights to the Doodle Army series. Now, they can make more games in the Doodle Army series, but only version 4.0.36 of Mini Militia has been released because Miniclip still owns version 5 and manages all the updates and other things related to the Mini Militia game, and it will continue to do so as long as people play the game. Apsomniacs have no role in this, but they do earn money for every game played. However, Miniclip cannot make any new Doodle Army games, and Apsomniacs cannot use any assets created by Miniclip. After that, in November 2020, Apsomniacs decided to create a new Mini Militia game. It would not be entirely new, but an expansion and update of the old build before version 5, version 4.0.36. The old build was from 2018. So the company will adopt a different approach to re-releasing the game. The new version will be called Mini Militia Classic, Doodle Army 2. I'll be talking about that, but let me tell you that Apsomniac is also remastering Doodle Army Boot Camp, the first game in the series, and plans to expand the Doodle Army series further, including developing Doodle Army 3. Their intention is to make Mini Militia Classic like it was before, with offline compatibility and friendly for the esports community. Even features like Capture the Flag, custom servers, and offline Wi-Fi are coming back. The developers claim that this version will be very different from the Miniclip version, and you can see it on the screen. They will have more control, which is a good thing because they are the ones who created the game in the first place and know the community the best. However, it is still only a team of 2 people who are developing the game, so they cannot exactly say when it will be released. They're currently publicly posting alpha builds of the game, and you can try it out by registering for alpha testing. The latest build was released on February 17th. They know that 2 people can't possibly make a big deal, so they are developing tools so that players can create their own content, such as their own maps, spawn points, and weapon loadouts, making the game highly customizable with unique content. They also want to add new modes such as Payload, Mini Royale, and others. The future of Mini Militia depends on how well the game performs and when it is launched, because if the new game does not perform well, it may be the end of the series. Regardless of the game's future, the truth is that it still has a dedicated fanbase that plays it regularly. People still love to play it because it has a small size, easy controls, and can run on low-end phones. Mini Militia also paved the way for successful multiplayer games. This type of game also runs on mobile, and you can play it with friends online. At the time it came out, there were not many multiplayer games. Single-player games like Subway Surfers and Dr. Driving used to be popular. This made it a revolutionary game in bringing multiplayer shooting to mobile devices, and its impact will be remembered in the future. Other games like Temple Run also had a significant impact, creating a subgenre of endless runners. Check out the video on the right to learn more about Temple Run's story, and watch the video on the left to learn why Fruit Ninja has declined so much. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Till then, adios.